you never really know your limit until you go beyond it. And you never go beyond it unless you have the courage to boldly put yourself out in this place where you're willing to accept the exposure and the feeling that you could be hurt. You could risk things that you hold dear. But ironically, when you pay that price, when you do risk daringly, and you do go boldly forward, and you do step beyond that threshold of what you see to be your limit, there's this new world. We all have this capacity to not just dream, but to live our dream. If life comes down to experiences, period. Full stop, end of sentence. If life comes down to experiences, what are we doing with our time? It ought to be in service of the experiences that are true to us. The truth that exists beyond the veil, that we're all unlimited. Because when you look for appreciation rather than expectation, the end result is joy and gratitude. And those are the experiences I choose.
It was October 2006. It was probably one of our last days riding for the year, so I decided to go out to the track, do a couple laps, finish an end of season laps with some buddies.
Just standing at the top, contemplating it, and thinking, like it's now or never. If I don't get over this fear, I'm going to be stuck, in this spot forever. Wanting to do this, but not ever going after it.
I asked my doctor, can I do that? And her response was pretty much, yeah, you could do whatever you want.
We set up a day to go to Thunder Mountain, which is up in Massachusetts. And that's where I met Tyler, and instantly we both just kind of hit it off.
It's not me in a wheelchair, it's me out skiing. I'm not skiing in a wheelchair, I'm skiing. And to be able to go out and be able to be just as good as anyone that can stand up and ski, it really makes it one incredible sport.
We just want to prove to people that we're not really any different than the rest of anybody. We can still ride, we can still race, and we're still pretty fast at it.
Life is good. I'm having fun with life. Yeah, honestly, I'm just lucky to be here. Almost wasn't, and I want to enjoy today, right now. Drop In was born out of my passion to simply do what I love, no matter what it takes, and inspired everyone doing it. Bloody Couloir is a crazy backcountry peak. My friends come back from these trips and they tell me all about them and their pictures are beautiful. I'm jealous, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to go too, and I just felt left behind. So I'm just gonna go do it. I've been looking at photos of Bloody Couloir, and just looking at it I get nervous. When I get nervous, I gotta do something. I gotta prepare. Because I'm not ready. There's only one way to the top of Bloody. You have to climb it. There's no helicopter. There's no snowmobile. You gotta get there yourself. When you ski in the backcountry, you never know what you're gonna get. So I need to be prepared for anything. I feel like I'm in the best cardiovascular shape of my entire life, and that's even including when I used to do triathlons. I don't know if I'm ready to do it yet. I don't know. I need to be doing some serious training. It's the real deal. It's no joke. I'm afraid I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna freeze. Fear. This is a serious expedition. I'm just tired of being left behind. So, I'm just gonna go do it. I'm gonna climb Bloody. I'm gonna ski it. I'm not gonna be left behind. Today, right now. Do what you love. Just drop in.
Come on, Grant. You got this. You got to get your heart rate under control. Bring it down. Get it down. You're burning through your calories. Come on. Breathe. Keep breathing. Keep moving forward. Just keep paddling. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? I cannot believe something like paralysis exists in the world. But like hell, I'm gonna stand by and not empower the next generation of people who are coming through this injury, through life-altering challenge. finding that golden space beyond the limitations of our mind is the journey that we all seek. You see, we as a people are not defined in life by what happens to us. We're defined by how we deal with it, and more specifically, who we become throughout the process.
Or just stop whenever
I'll go for 10 and
whenever you feel like you need to.
whatever I can do. How far are we? Like mileage wise, do we know?
Well, Cave Rock, based on your thing, we're at like 30 miles.
Sick.
30 something, yeah. Roughly.
Fear is that element that hones us, that makes us from coal to diamond. It's the thing that pushes us forward in life, keeps us in check and says that, hey, greatness, not goodness, but greatness, lies just beyond what you're unwilling to see. It doesn't matter if I make it. What matters is I'm doing it. I'll put my entire body into this effort, and I will ride it till it dies. And when it dies, I'm going to ask it to go 10 more feet. And when it goes 10 more feet, I'm going to ask it to go 10 more feet after that. And 10 more and 10 more. Because I refuse to believe that something like paralysis can slow me down. Why not step out into the light? Why not step forward into the challenge that I'm not sure I can achieve, but have the heart to pursue?
Come on, baby. Take it home. Take it home. No matter what you have in your life that is or is not working, that is completely independent of what your heart, your mind, and your spirit is capable of achieving and sharing with this world.
Back in 2004, aspiring pro skier and friend of mine, Josh Dewick, broke his back when a flip on skis went tragically wrong. He ended up a T11 full paraplegic, which pretty much means that he had no feeling in his body from about this point down. Last year, we worked on a documentary film together called The Freedom Chair. And during filming, Josh just blew me away with what he was able to do on a sit ski. While we were out filming, the whole time, Josh kept talking about wanting to go upside down on snow again. So here we are in Whistler, and we're gonna try and make it happen.
Obviously, safety is a top priority for me doing this backflip. The last thing that I want to do is put myself in a worse situation than I'm already in. It all started a few months back at Woodward's at Copper. Just started jumping around in the foam pit, and that's when I realized that backflip was possible. And then from there, the natural progression was to bring it onto the airbag at Blackcomb in their terrain park. And then it was on. I knew that deep soft snow was going to leave me the biggest margin for error. Powder Mountain Snowcats decided to build me this big old backcountry booter, and then when the weather was right, obviously I knew it was time to send it. This is something I've been dreaming about ever since I was laid out in the hospital. I've wanted to get back on the horse ever since I got knocked off, and to be able to go back out there and do this flip with all my friends, it just simply does not get any better than that.
I think it's easy for people to look at my life and think that I don't have independence. Having somebody help me in the shower or help me pee or get my socks on, it's pretty damn normal for me. It doesn't feel any different than anybody else. When I broke my neck, the doctors told me I'd never walk again. I mean, as a teenager, that didn't fly with me. But the thing was, I felt that my DNA was already in place, and that was to just push forward.
I feel like while he might be, he's limited physically, he doesn't set limits on himself, and he actually really tries to push beyond whatever kind of limits are out there for him.
I started skiing when I was probably around 6 years old. My parents would drag us along, so they could get time on the mountain. After I broke my neck, obviously, my skiing changed quite a bit.
I met Tony a few years back skiing at Alpine. He skied with us at Disabled Sports Far West, and I ended up kind of stepping in on a lesson and skiing with him the rest of the day, and we've skied with each other ever since.
I feel very fortunate. I feel he's a 1 in a million type of skier. He has the skills that, I think any of the best skiers in the world have. this is how I get on the mountain. You know, you want to ski powder, you need fat skis. You know, you want to do a certain thing, you need special equipment. Well, I've got my special equipment and that's my crew. They get me on the mountain. It's no different than anybody else. It just looks a little different.
The dynamic between Tony and I is pretty interesting. It's a friendship as much as anything else, but we definitely kind of feed off each other and each other's excitement. We share that a lot, and it's just two buddies going out and skiing.
Yeah, those are 105 underfoot. They are, yeah. These skis, these Wileys are...
So when I imagine something and I say, you know, I want to do this, he never goes, I don't know, it doesn't seem technically possible. And if anybody would know something's technically possible, it'd be Brian. But he doesn't ever feel limited in the way that I do too. You know, he just says, let's go for it and see what happens.
The dream for coming to Alaska, I think it's probably as much my idea or my dream as it is Tony's. We were riding the chairlift one day talking about skiing different places and just about how Alaska is the mecca of big mountain powder skiing, kind of how every skier needs to go there at some point. And he thought, you know, he's a skier as much as anybody else, so he needs to make that trip as well.
If we're going to get powdered, let's go to where it is. And that's kind of how the idea came about. And basically we both looked at each other, and I don't think it was just me. I think our light went off at the same time.
There was a lot of stuff going through my head when I found out that this was going to become a reality. Definitely nervous about a lot of unknown things, like how's the ski going to work in deep snow? How's the ski going to work on bigger mountains?
You know, I was excited to hear I was working with Tony for sure, having met him over the summer. But on the other hand, I was like, all right, here we go. This is a totally new experience.